More now on the story we first told you about earlier this week. A 6-year-old child wrongly taken from his Scarborough school by the CAS in a case of mistaken identity. It is a story so outrageous we're delving even further into it, and today we're getting a clearer picture of how this system failed this child.
He arrived maybe about 15 minutes to 3, and he was like, "Mom, a stranger took me." And I cried.
Imagine a mother's terror believing her 6-year-old is missing. He was gone for almost 3 hours after a CAS driver picked up the wrong child from school and took him to children's aid offices. The child that was supposed to be picked up apparently had the same first name. CityNews has learned students were manning the school office when the CAS driver showed up for the child. We asked the CAS if an adult was in the office when the boy was mistakenly handed over. It's a question they initially did not want to answer.
It's a really valid question that you're dismissing, so can you help me out and try and get some answers to this one for me, please?
The CAS did respond a couple of hours later via this email stating when the CAS driver arrived, there were no adults present, and a student was the one that picked up the phone and called for the child to be brought to the office. After that, an adult entered the office and the wrong child was signed out. This matches what the Toronto board confirmed, that the child was taken during the lunch hour when students were staffing the office. An adult is always supposed to be present, but the board added, quote, maybe she stepped out for a second. One staff member was sent home pending the results of an investigation.
I just thought, what could he have been thinking through that ride, you know?
The CAS drivers that take vulnerable children to and from appointments and meetings with family members are all volunteers. The CAS says they go through a rigorous screening process and must take kids in crisis training. The child told his mother he tried to resist getting into the vehicle with a complete stranger.
That's when he said that she grabbed him by the arm and roughly placed him inside the vehicle.
That doesn't match the statement CAS gave us yesterday, saying the child was never in distress and was happy. Today, a spokesperson who declined an interview stated in this email, all aspects of this interaction will be reviewed. Now, yesterday, the province's child and youth advocate spoke out on CityNews about this story and said children need to be listened to. Maybe they will now. At a meeting yesterday with volunteer drivers, it was suggested children should be asked to identify themselves to a driver during pickups. A decision hasn't been made yet if that will happen. The CAS says the entire protocol of pickups and drop-offs is now under review.